Hello and welcome to the Campaign Corner. I'm Sherry Wassell and I have with me Andy Meehan, congressional candidate for Pennsylvania's 1st District, Republican. How are you today, Andy?
Doing fantastic, Sherry. Thanks for having me on your program today. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Well, like I said, I told you earlier, I found you when I was going through the latest FEC filings, and I noticed your support for President Trump, so that's why I wanted to interview you. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on today.
Absolutely.
Let's start by having you tell everyone what led you to your decision to run for United States Congress.
Yeah. Well, Sherry, I'm just a patriotic American businessman, resident of PA1 in Bucks County for 32 years. And I've been energized by the uptick in the economy and just the tone in general in our country since the election of President Trump. It's been a revitalization. And at the same time, I'm rather disgusted by the attacks that we see on our values and our way of life coming from the left, the Democrats, the leftward lurch of the Democrats towards socialism and their ridiculous obsession with identity politics. And I'm sick of watching our fake Republican congressman, Brian Fitzpatrick, kind of basically play patty cake with the Democrats, voting and acting like a Democrat instead of standing up on Republican principles and going to D.C. to fight for what Republicans in PA1 want to see from their representative. And so I felt like I had to do something about it. And so I decided to use my talents and my energy to stand up for the values that we believe in and go to Washington and fight so that my children and my grandchildren can be blessed by the same country that I grew up in. And that's the reason why I ran. I felt like I had to do something.
We appreciate you running very much. We need candidates like you in every seat in the U.S. House and Senate.
Yeah.
So tell us what of your life and leadership experiences qualifies you. What makes you the best candidate, the one that the voters should choose?
Well, Sherry, I'm just a person who loves this country and loves American values. I'm a very passionate and energetic, patriotic type, and stands up for what he believes in. Everybody that knows me in the district in Bucks County for 32 years knows this of me. I'm a very active person in the community. Aside from my business as a financial advisor, I've worked for years with youth soccer. I have a rock and roll band that I play in, and I'm a very visible resident of Bucks County. And from working with all the people that I've worked with over the years as a financial advisor, I mean, you name it, I've worked with corporate executives, firefighters, salesmen, consultants, divorcees, widows, retirees. I've worked with them all. I understand their entire financial situation. I understand how the decisions that come out of Washington, D.C. affect the way that they earn a living, the way that they save, the way that they pay taxes, invest their money, and invest for the future to meet their dreams and their goals. So I feel like I have an understanding of them, and I'm one of them. I was a victim of Obamacare, just like the rest of the self-employed people in the world. So I feel I'm very connected to the people of the district, and because of my experience as a business person, that I am able to go to Washington and see what the impact are of these policies that are coming out of there. And contrary to what the current congressman thinks, a couple weeks ago he came out and said that the greatest threat to our country was the tone of politics and the lack of civility in political discourse. I think that the greatest threat to our democracy is the consolidation of power and money into Washington, D.C. It's given us $22 trillion in debt and huge power grabs over the economy like Obamacare. And I'm tired of it. I think it's wrong. And I want to go to Washington to fight for liberty and economic opportunity for all residents in the districts and for justice.
Wonderful. I noticed that justice and the rule of law are two of your issues listed on your campaign. What particular area of law do you feel is being the most abused right now in America?
Well, I feel very strongly that there's been a politicization at the highest levels of our government to selectively prosecute some political opponents and selectively exonerate others in a very blatant and callous way. and that it threatens to pull apart the republic, because little people like me, we know that if we did the things that we see coming out of these bureaucrats and connected, powerful politicians in Washington, we would be thrown in jail faster than your hat could fall on the floor. But we see these people being given passes and exonerated, and the targeting of President Trump with this Spygate and coming out of the FBI and the CIA and the Department of Justice is just disgusting. And I want to go to Washington to make sure that the rule of law is played fairly and equally among all Americans, not just the powerful and connected ones.
Excellent. I know most Americans agree with you on that 100%. So I noticed another of your issues was empowering families. Can you give an example of the type of empowerment you would like to see families in America have?
Yeah, there's two examples that come to mind right away. Number one is Obamacare. When the government decides to take over huge swaths of the economy in an unconstitutional way, is my opinion on it, it has a huge impact on society and business and everybody, and it doesn't empower people to make choices that they think are best for them. So it robs them of liberty. So that would be one example of it. The other thing is, we see things like the $15 minimum wage being touted by our current congressman. I don't understand why the government needs to get themselves involved in a private business transaction between an employer and an entry-level employee who is probably just happy to have a job, to be able to gain some experience and dignity in life by earning their own money and having a position that they can learn about what makes you successful in the business world, have an opportunity to put some money in your pocket. And as a business owner, I know there's many people out there that will hire many, many less entry-level employees because of the $15 minimum wage. People that run swim clubs, restaurants, delis, summer camps, you name it. These people can't afford to pay entry-level employees $15 an hour, and as a result, you'll see less people employed instead of more people employed, the most vulnerable people.
Thank you. So Andy, how will you get your message out to the voters for the campaign?
Well, we're of course doing the social media thing. I'm doing a lot of live meetups, meet and greets. We don't have a war chest of money like the Fitzpatrick gang does, so we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, Sherry. Get out there and shake hands, knock on doors, and be visible, and have a grassroots effort that the true Republicans in Bucks County know that they have somebody that's going to fight for their values and is going to stand up for them, and that all the money in Doylestown and Up County with the establishment Republicans is not going to save Brian Fitzpatrick from the voters.
Last question. What advice do you have for President Trump to help him win the state of Pennsylvania?
Great question. First of all, I think it would be a great idea for President Trump to come to Bucks County and stand next to me in defending his agenda, because my opponent, Congressman Fitzpatrick, is about the biggest Trump-hating rhino that we can find in the Congress, and everybody knows it. I support the president's agenda. I don't hitch my campaign to his wagon 100%, but I do 100% support the president and his agenda, and I would like to stand next to the president and lobby for the people of Pennsylvania to rise up for jobs, economic opportunity, and revitalization of our country under the president's agenda. That's what I would like to see.
Is there anything you think that's going on in your state that President Trump might not be aware that you could advise him on to help him win the state?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you fear about electoral integrity, voter integrity, and you want it to be a fair election where people's votes are counted. Everybody, can vote, and that the people that are only eligible to vote will vote. And I think that's a big issue. I think that the president should definitely speak out to the African American community in big cities like Philadelphia. The unemployment numbers under the president with Hispanics and African Americans are the highest they've ever been. And his plea to them years ago to give them a chance, what do they have to lose, I feel has been borne out by his success. And they should get behind the president. If even a small portion of the Black and Hispanic vote go for the president, his opposition will have no chance of winning Pennsylvania.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to interview with us today. And your website is meehan2020.com, correct?
Correct. I'd encourage everybody, whether or not you're in Pennsylvania District 1 or anywhere in the country who cares about liberty, opportunity, and justice, to visit my website, meehan2020.com, and to connect with the campaign. Send us some money so we can fight this big battle against the establishment. And I promise everybody, I will not let you down. I am going to fight with every fiber I have in my body.
Thank you so much, Andy. We'll be back with many more candidates from all across America here on the Campaign Corner, so stay tuned for more. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sherry. Have a great day.
Thank you, Andy. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.